Chubby, comes to when it comes to technical know-how, I have none. No technical know-how. Uh, can, so yeah, so if you can hear me now,
Yeah,
we'll wait a little bit for a few other people to check in. So as soon as everybody else figures out that we went to a different link, again, what what I did, what I didn't do. It worked yesterday just fine. I went on, hey Patty, I went on yesterday, got on just fine. And then today, for some reason, it came up with that screen and didn't do nothing. I don't know, man. I don't have a clue. I'd be I'd be best off with a chisel and a hammer and then just chiseling stuff in stone and showing it like the Flintstones. Because boy, when it comes to this stuff, I don't have a clue. So yes, so welcome back to the Rock Room. A couple of you guys. now that we're just a couple people, I think I lost everybody. Hey, there's the Opal guys back. So yeah, so we'll wait a couple more seconds here. Hey, Beth's back. Oh no, Beth is here already. So yeah, so again, like I say, I don't know how to use this stuff. And I've already done this. I've already been live. I've already done the live. Why it didn't do it this time? Does anybody know? Does anybody else go live? Configure this stuff out. Last time I think when I did it did like a countdown, like 10, 9, 8, 7. This time it did the countdown. And then it reached 0 and it said it's waiting for me. So I'm like, why are you waiting for me? I'm already here. So I don't know what's going on. So yeah, anyhow, so we're here in hot and humid Wisconsin. It is boy, if you look at the floor in here, the floor is soaking wet. It's not real super warm. It's only like in the low 80s, but the humidity is at 180%. And it is literally, the floor is wet. I mean, like wet, like it flooded in here.
It's sweating
from sweating so bad. So, yes, I had to throw away all my seat cushions that were on these chairs. They were just mildewy. I'm sitting here thinking my albums are probably starting to go blue, getting stuck together. And that's, if anybody knows record stuff, you don't want that stuff to happen. So, you should be like checking on that old chat. Let me check on the old chat just to make sure we still don't have some people hanging around in there.
They posted it on the
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so
oh yeah, everybody's
it's probably everybody anyhow. So yeah, so anyhow, so we're in the oven. We're in the old oven, Wisconsin. So Brenda, if anybody watched on AZRE last week,
2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
No, it'd be last.
They didn't go last.
Oh yeah, so whatever. Last time, Brian and Julie had a giveaway. Brenda won. So Brenda got a box. Here's the box. I'm gonna scare the dog. I just scared the dog. So yeah, woohoo! Brenda won the box.
Woohoo!
And actually, I won. If anybody remembers, I won the week before, which was the 20% off, and I gave it to Cheryl. Hope you bought a lot of rocks at 20% off, Cheryl. But I seen on one of your videos that you're trying to save up money to go to Spencer, so maybe you didn't buy anything. So anyhow, I'm going to turn on some lights. I'm going to move the camera, and we'll show you some rocks.
Right.
The magic of technology.
Well, what?
And the magic. Oh, that's giving me some lines, huh?
It's okay.
I used something dark because I figured
it's good.
Dark would be better. But I don't know if dark's better or not. Maybe once I get some rocks on here. So here's one of the first pieces
Well,
Whoop, this is going to be opposite for me too. So this is one of the, oh, did it just flipped? Oh, it just flipped upside down or something. So this is one of the first pieces Brenda got. Why does it keep flipping upside down?
I don't know.
That's weird.
Stop looking at it like there.
So yes, maybe if I change angles here, you can tell we had this well thought out, right? Now, why did this work fine? So how come everything works great in the test?
It's fine.
They can't even freaking see it. It's like blurred out.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
There.
it is.
There it ain't.
Maybe if I hold it that way. I don't know how does Julie do this stuff, right?
There.
There you
That's
go,
good.
right there.
Yes.
Maybe that's how she does it. Maybe I can get a little closer. So here's the first piece Brenda got. Sorry for that nasty film. I am not Julie. I'm me, and I'm not very good at this stuff. So here's one of the first slabs Brenda got. I should just a little bit closer. Working two-handed here. Okay, and then here comes the other one she got, which is this little slablet. Focus. Focus, focus, focus. Yeah, it's focusing on everything else, right?
I wonder if I would hold this.
There. Oh, no, I got it.
Okay.
So here's the next one. That's pretty cool. Got some agates in there. Not too bad. Okay. Hey, and then you can see, wow, that it's like
Stop
reaching,
that.
it's like reaching into space, right?
Stop
Let me
that.
grab
They
that.
can't see that.
Yeah, they can. They're looking at the whole same thing we're looking at. They can't see that. Okay, here's the next little piece. This is like a little piece of red jasper, I think. Piece of red jasper with a little vein of chalcedony running through there. There you go. There's that. Okay, here's a little piece of petrified wood. I don't know if this is from that blue stuff they've been getting, or I don't remember exactly, because I was driving when they were going over this stuff, so it's hard for me to drive and pay attention. So yeah, a little piece of petrified wood.
Infinite rocks.
Okay, there's this. Is a nice, and this is very translucent. Camera's having a hard time because anything that's white's going to give these lines. So yeah, nice piece of real clear agate. Sure that's from their claims. This next one I won't get wet because it's a little
Looks like
it's a little yes.
Looks
this-
like a woman.
This is a little booby bot. So you know, do you want to touch it? Sorry for the dirty. This is not for kids. So this is adults. This is adult stuff
Debbie
here.
does Druzy.
Yes, this is adult. This is adult stuff here. No kids allowed, right? Okay. Here's a little baby little thunder egg. Thunder egg. Little baby thunder egg. Just a little tiny baby. Okay. So that was that. And of course, this is my favorite. It's their screaming blue agate. Look at the blue in that. Wow. Is that crazy? And the nice thing about Brenda not having a good memory, in a couple days, I'll claim this like I got it. And she won't even know.
Hey,
It's
that's
all
not
mine.
nice.
All mine. Okay, and that now this one I won't get wet either because this is a big kind of like a thunder eggy thing, but it's got a big bottle in there. It's got big bubbles in there. And of course, Brenda's gonna want to cut this because you give him anything to Brenda and it's cut. I gotta cut it. I gotta cut it. I gotta cut it. So she wants to probably cut this.
Yes.
And it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Kind of looks like a little rock monster. Rock monster. Okay, and then, of course, Brian's favorite. We got some Pecos diamonds. Pecos diamonds, yes, indeed, Pecos diamonds. Look at them little Pecos diamonds. This one's just a big glob. This one's just a big glob of Pecos diamonds. Look at that. You just take that home with you. Oh, that's right, we already did. So that was the AZR E. If anybody doesn't know, now we all know who it is. Everybody.
I want to thank
right?
you guys so much for it.
So yes, so good deal, Brian and Julie, for that nice gift box. They do that every week. In case anybody doesn't watch your channel, that's going to be watching this. They give away some beautiful stuff all the time. So anyhow, so a few weeks back, I was at. Oops, sorry for the hand. Watch my model hand. I was at the bucket sale at the Gem Center in Cedarburg, Wisconsin, and I went there, which of course was a big bust. So I went to the building, the shop, and I was standing in there, and I had bought some stuff, and I was standing in there, and I'm like standing next to this guy, and I'm like, hey, you look really familiar. I'm like, you're like OP Rocks. And he goes, yeah, OPE. And and maybe I said OPE, but I just said it really fast, OPE. But yes, it was, and while we're talking, I'll show you another rock here. So yeah, so it was the guy from OPE Rocks. And he's like, hey, you're the Wisconsin's guy. So yeah, look at that. I was recognized somewhere other than at home. So, but while I was there, I did buy some stuff, and I got some Agua Neve agate. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with Agua Neve. This is a piece of Agua Neve. And this stuff is, what's the word? Really nice. And this is of course, the end scab. So I'll only show you one side. But yeah, this stuff is really nice. Nice to work with. Beautiful stuff. And of course, I took some slabs off of that. And you can see how translucent it is. The stuff is just beautiful to work with. Plus, it's super hard, not fractured or nothing. So, losing some focus here. So yeah, some real nice looking stuff. And it gets a lot more purpler. Maybe not this piece, but I've got some other stuff. And so it's like Brian and Julie's blue stuff. When you have the mossy stuff around here, the agate is blue. Well, and this Agua Neve, the agate part is usually like a purple color rather than a blue. It's a purple. Although this piece is more of a clear to a blue. It's lightly purple, but the camera's kind of turning it clear. But it's actually a little on the purple side. So, my stubborn sucker. There you go. So yeah, this stuff is really nice to work with. So let's see here. So Here's some other stuff I got. And I think I had recently done a cab with this stuff too. So, but this is again very translucent. Oh, that's you can see that way. I actually had to turn it to actually see the orbs in there. And you can see the banding. Just some crazy stuff. Of course, as I went into it, it just kept getting bigger and bigger. And the good thing about, a lot of people talk about buying stuff online, and yes, if you can see the exact piece you're buying, it's pretty good. But if you buy stuff from the gem shop or the gem center or that place out in the Dakotas, the Rock Shed, or other places, even Highland Park or something that sells rock, you buy stuff, they're showing you a picture, you're not getting what they're showing you on the picture. You never know what you get. So when you go to some place like this and hand pick the stuff you're getting, you're going to get a lot better stuff. So, I was able to go through the buckets and hand pick this stuff. And yeah, it's crazy. This is beautiful stuff. In my opinion. You might not think so, but so yeah, so there's a lot of, and again, this is kind of purple. You can kind of see it hinting purple there, but the light's making it turn blue rather than purple, but you can just see how interesting
Where was
that
it?
is.
Where did you get this from?
This is from the Gem Shop in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. It's kind of just if anybody's familiar with Wisconsin, it's just about 10 miles, 10, 15 miles north of Milwaukee on 43, I believe is the highway. So yes, it's really crazy stuff. And then I got some, here's another one I cut into. And again, this is very, very tough to see. And some of these I cut really thin more for like earrings, because you want
Eastern Wisconsin?
Yes, right on the coast of Lake Michigan. Not like you can see water coast, but yes,
Do they
pretty
sell
close.
online?
Yes, they do sell online, and you can buy Agua Neve too. They have it in I'm not sure if they have it. I mean, they do have it, but if they have it in different grades, but I think the Gem Center has it like different grades, or one of them has it like different grades. So, the
Bucket,
grades
you're
are the
kidding 'em.
grades. A headache?
Yes.
That's
Stop
good.
whipping the rocks
I
around.
love to whip the rocks around. I love to whip everything around. So now here's another piece. Now you can kind of see that little bit on here, that purple. See that purple? Again, it's really tough to see it. But again, it's just kind of, and this is from Mexico, Agua Neves from Mexico. So I'm sure this is, similar to the stuff they get in Arizona. I mean, you're literally a stone's throw away, as they say. So, yeah. So here's another piece here. You can see that branching in there. This side, how you can see like it doesn't really show up there, but on this side you got that beautiful looking red bossiness in there. It's crazy. And then it continues on. Like you say, you got that big agate or the agate part on the one side, and then this mossy. And here's another real thin one I cut. This mossy bossy goodness. So all you earring makers over there that like this real thin, clear stuff with the moss. Nice looking piece. Okay, and then next. I got this thinner piece. Again, it's so translucent, but yet it's so purple. But again, like I say, the camera's not showing it. It's kind
Is
of,
this stuff real hard when you're cabinet and stuff?
yes, this is really hard stuff. It's glass hard. So yes, it holds up really good. And you can almost see, is that like a fracture running around there? But it doesn't seem to have too many fractures in it. Some stuff does, and of course, you know how stones are. You really never know what you get. So, and here's again like one I did that was super thin. You could just see how clear that is, but yet it's hard to describe it, But yes, just beautiful stuff. So I took a bunch of chunks off of this, and this kind of stays the same now with this look.
Almost iris.
Yeah, you can't, if I would cut this like paper thin, would you see some iris in there? Possibly. I don't know if Agua Neve is known for irising and stuff. But yes, it does have some cool looking effects. So, and like I say, the thicker pieces is where you can kind of see the purple a little bit better, but again, not showing it on camera. But yes, so this is a big chunk. It's crystal clear, but it's a purple clear, like a tinted glass or something. My hand's a little making the camera do some wonky stuff. So yeah, it's neat stuff. Maybe the outside scab will have the where you can see the purple a little better. Let's get that big eye on there. Looks like a little alligator. Maybe an alligator. Is that a stretch? Alligator? But that was the outside chunk. So yeah. So this is what I looked at when I was buying it. Ooh, that's a little spider face. Focus. The spider face. So yeah, so when I bought this,
Do this with
I
this.
hope no white. You don't want white. It's gotta be dark. So yeah, so this is when I looked at it, the outside piece in that bin, and I'm like, oh, and everything in here is in 50-gallon drums. So when you go up there, you're staring at.
Chubby Hubby just hit buy all on their website.
Yes, you gotta. It's all in 50-gallon drums, right out in the back of the yard. If a guy lived next door, you could make a living off getting free rocks and selling them yourself. Yeah, no, I'm trying to. So yeah, it's got 50-gallon drums of different stuff. So okay, here's the next guy. So again, this is very purpley. I gotta take a drink here. You think with it being 100% humidity, you wouldn't have to drink anything, but it makes it worse. So again, very very translucent. But you can see this is a lot more of the pinky purple. There you can get a good look at the purple. And this was the big end. As I started to cut on this, it didn't get smaller. And then this one was so small I had to cut it on the handsaw, so I got the shapes all wonky and all big, thick. What a waste of a nice piece by cutting it that thick. So maybe I can cut it in half again for some earrings. So again, it's a nice piece.
That reminds me
But-
of bacon.
Yes, but not like big areas. You're going to be making tiny little stones with this rather than, that side's got a big surface. So you're going to have to be pretty picky when it comes to, where you get your stones out of this. Here's another one. It's got some little cloud patterns forming on the bottom there. See the clouds, some poofy clouds.
Slay.
Side's got the bacon look, the baconator.
Who don't like bacon?
Vegetarians.
Yeah.
And then here's getting to the end. And again, on this piece too, the outside looked yellow. See that kind of that yellowy yellow, but because it's agua neve, you
Let's
kind of,
show this again. It looked like a dragon head.
all right. So you kind of know that it should turn purple, and yeah, of course it did turn purple. So this one, dragon head, right in there. Dragon, oh yeah, because it's even got the little pointy ears or that horn. Dragons have ears. Think so? Do they?
I would think a dragon has horns.
Not horns. I said ears.
Oh, yeah. How do they hear if they don't have ears?
Sign language.
I don't think they know how to sign language.
Maybe. Gotta catch a dragon and ask them. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so okay, so and of course I didn't cut all the stuff I have. Of course I have, too much stuff to cut. So even stuff like this, I just don't have the time to cut. Plus I picked up Brenda. I picked up her like 20 pounds of, I can't remember the name. I'll show you. Oh, I picked up Brenda 20 pounds of this stuff, and these are Inca agates, and this wasn't 20. This I got at the bucket sale. They had trays of these, and a tray is a cardboard thing out of a soda thing or a tea thing or something, and they had 4 bags of these, 4 bags for $40. So $10 a bag, and what it was a 5-pound bag, and they were Inca agates. And you'd have to look on her Facebook page. She had cut a bunch of them already. They are impressive. If I would have known that, I would have got a whole bunch of flats of these. But to go inside the shop and get these for 25 pounds, which is $5 a pound. I know I'd buy my stuff cheaper than that. I don't want to pay $5 a pound.
Jenny said if you have too much stuff to cut, she'd help you.
Yes, right. Yes, and Brenda, even Brenda, she can't even get it all cut. She's got pounds and pounds and pounds of stuff to cut. So, yeah. So, but getting back to my stuff, the big stuff. And this
Nice sound effects.
This is like, again, I wish the camera could pick this up rather than looking brown. This is like super, super purple. And if anybody's familiar with agua, yes, it's very very purple. That's what it's, maybe that's what agua means. No, I think agua is like water or something, right? Or is that eggs? No, eggs is huevos, right?
That's agua water.
Is it? Yes.
Yeah, so I would
water.
think that's like a water line on there.
So anyhow, it doesn't look like water. It's purple. Very purple. And this has got, again, some, of course, the camera is not. Look at that. There you go.
Hey!
Now you can see it. What?
Don't do that.
Why not? So yeah, so this was a again, pretty big rock, and you can see by the, this is getting to be hand size. And I don't know what this black stuff is in there. And it's hard. It's not like it's, you can see it's not drying up. And then, of course, on the bottom, you're getting some more of the matrixy stuff, the moss agate. And of course, this top is all just, and the top was just this big giant crystal with all these little points. And of course, I chopped it. All these people like, oh, no, don't. It's a big crystal.
Somebody said that it's time to book passage on the Badger and Invade Wisconsin.
Yes.
They ever come this way, they're invited.
Oh, do you see the Chinese dragon face there? See that there? Right there. Do you see that?
Yeah,
The
that
dragon
he's
face?
saying that because you cut his crystal things off.
Yes. So yes, most people would have wanted to keep this for all these crystal, because this is just a big chunk of crystal. But I looked through it and saw the purpley goodness, and I said, "Oh, heck with that." So yes. So again, what I was looking at on the outside was kind of that, and of course it looked, because it was, you couldn't see into it. So you couldn't see into it. There we go. So you couldn't see into the rock, but I could see the banding, and I could see the purpley goodness. So yes, this was one I knew I had to grab. And this was the stone that just kept on giving and giving. So this was a big rock. Plus, I got the rest of the stone to cut yet. So I cut a bunch of slabs off of it. And then, yeah, look at that. That's crazy. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I think this shot speaks for itself. And then as it goes on, it starts to lose a little bit of the purple banding, but it gets a lot more of this crazy kind of moss. So yeah, so it's starting to lose its whatever. Oop. And by the time you reach the other side, it's completely like this. And trying to move some stuff around here. So this was the other side. Now you can see this is just matrixy junk. So I took a gamble, because you don't really know how far that agate goes through the rock when this is one side. So when I bought this, it was kind of like, okay, I'll buy it, whatever, we'll figure it out. So yeah, so then, if anybody wasn't watching my other videos, I found some taters, and this tater here is kind of common to like what Nate gets out in California, that poppy jasper. It's kind of on that form of, this is cut with the oil sauce. Of course, the it's not going to stay wet. Yeah, and you're just not going to be able to see this real well. But yeah, it's got all these little tiny red dots that make up this big red pattern. So it's not actually a red pattern. It's tons of little tiny dots. And then if you can see, like right here with this big speck, There's also lots and lots of little tiny specks, and that's actually hematite. So when you polish that up, that shines like, chrome on 1967 Chevy or something. So yeah, like that freaking stuff there. So yes. So also I cut some other taters, and I thought this one was pretty. And this is again, these are taters. These are again, this is
Local Wisconsin
yes,
rock,
this is a Wisconsin tater, and you can see this is a thick.
just down the road from us.
You can see how thick that's a thick piece, and it's that translucent. You can see the agate right there. So it's got all kinds of little tiny agates in it, and it's just got that weird, this bright white tracing everything else, and then it's got some red agates over here. And this is pretty solid, not a real lot of fractures. But yeah, just a nice, good old Wisconsin, and obviously some kind of volcanics, because this is that like a glassy stuff. So yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. And again, on the outside, this is what when I find them, that's what they look like. Really ago, huh? Like, yeah. Like, why would you even pick that up? But even up on here, you can see the translucency of them little pieces and stuff. So you can tell it's glassy nature, and which is different. Of course, this is covered in oil, but with these type of rocks, the moss will grow on them when it gets, because it's got so many little pits on the outside. But dirt doesn't even stick to them. Nothing even sticks to it. And everybody knows, like jasper, some of that real super smooth jasper, nothing sticks to it. And that's an easy way to see it, because it's a rock that doesn't turn, doesn't turn like that on the outside. So nothing sticks to it. So they're easy to see. And then, of course, that glassy nature is another giveaway. And again, these get, this is again, this piece, and this isn't all cut either. But this piece, this is hand
And
size.
it has those like little
Oh yeah,
pockets.
it's got all the little bottle, or the little
Pockets.
crystal bogs. Plus, it's got all the little. Here you can see a good crystal one in there. You can even see the crystals where I cut through it. But yeah, you got all this, all these little tiny agates running all over in there. It's just covered with little tiny agates. There's just big, crazy area with all kinds of little crystally caverns, and like I say, very, very translucent. And this comes in like golds, and I get it in reds, and a multitude of colors. And again, here was the outside chunky chunk, and of course, let me get this wet real quick here. And of course, there's the
even the end you can kind of see through, huh?
Yeah, where it's thin enough.
Yeah.
So you can, like say, you can see the agates working around on their agates. That's agatized. There's little agates, and then you can into some of these. There's a good agate right there. Micro agates, as I call them sometimes, in search of the micro agate. But if you were looking on the outside for agates, oh yeah, right there's one. I can actually see one right there. But yes, very, very hard to tell. But they have a look, and when you hunt a lot of different stones, you kind of get familiar with what you're looking for, like the jade hunters out west. you kind of get what what you're looking for, and you get familiar with the stone. So yes, so these definitely have a look to what I'm looking for, and that's why I'm able to find them. So now next, here again, it's another tater, and again, this one was a little bit different, but when I talk about these taters, a lot of them have this fingernailing. I don't know what else to call it, but it's more like a conglomerate. And again, you can see and that's a pretty thick chunk. You can see the translucency of this stuff, but it gets just crazy looking. And again, you can see how translucent that. And this is a thick, again, these are thick chunks. And you can just see this gets this crazy, like this is a good, this
Them are some eyebrows.
thumbnails or something. I call it a thumbnail pattern, but
He's looking at us.
yes, pretty crazy looking, bizarre. Yeah, and here's another chunk of it. And like I say, very you can see how almost like a carnelian with the orange, and then it kind of loses that the two big eyes.
To know if these are found in southeast area of Wisconsin.
It's actually in south central, in between northern Portage and southern Marathon. Why do you live around here? Are you going to be going in my spots? Am I going to be seeing you in my spots? So now here's another one here. And it's got, again,
it's not like a fishing spot.
Yes, they're all fishing spots. So yeah, if anybody wants to hunt these down, look us up. We'll take you on a tater hunt. Wear some camo because
get stung by some bees. She's in Watertown.
Oh yeah, so you're getting close, right? So you can see the translucency of that. But yeah, so you can travel the world and buy stuff, and then yet stuff in your backyard looks the same. I had just recently done a video where I had bought some.
I don't know why you would wear camo.
So nobody shoots you. It's Wisconsin. You'll get shot. Don't you know anything? In Wisconsin, like I say, they don't put up trespassing signs. They shoot you. So yes, you got to be stealthy. No, I that's just a joke. No, camo, just because you don't want to attract attention. Everybody will be in your spot. I should show you. I have a rock, and because I'm a hunter, or I shouldn't say I hunt anymore, but I used to hunt and berry pick and stuff like that. And I find rock piles way out in the middle of the woods that you probably were at one day a farmland, and now they're not farmland anymore, and now it's a woods. And so I find these rock piles way off, and some of my videos, I think I call them like the hidden rock pile or the lost rock pile. They're like right out in the middle of the freaking woods. So I had told a friend of mine I used to work with, another rock guy, and I'm like, oh yeah, hey, yeah, I get these freaking rocks, blah, 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 blah. And he was nagging me. And I took him to the spot and I showed him where it was. And he grabbed some rocks. We both grabbed some rocks, whatever. I came back there like a month and a half later, and the whole pile, I mean, I am not kidding you. I'll go back over there. I'll take some pictures. The whole freaking pile was down to the freaking ground, and all the rocks were thrown out into the woods. He literally went and dug down, and animals use these rock piles, bees use these rock piles, and he literally took every stinking rock, dug through the whole entire pile, and got everything out of there. And I thought, really, like you don't think I'm gonna know that was you And of course, he said that it wasn't him, it was somebody mysterious. So I'm surprised he doesn't have videos of him showing these rocks. But
So
you
wants you
know,
to stay away from her buck.
again, from your buck, oh, Cheryl, you should see here. I don't know if this will work. Hold on.
You're stuck on a rock.
So yes, I'm stuck on a rock. Oh yeah, I can't.
No.
Yeah, so yeah, Cheryl, man, we got such huge bucks right in the backyard here. It's crazy. So anyhow, talking about the rocks that look familiar and people, I've got so many rocks that people come to my spots to get rocks. I don't care. I've got so many freaking rocks. I got rocks up the wazoo. So anyhow, what we were talking about before was rocks. You can travel the globe. Now, this is a tater here, and we were just looking at the Wisconsin tater
And the stuff
and the
from
stuff from Brian and Julie. I mean, come on, like what? Now, is that not crazy? So here's Wisconsin, and this is starting to dry out. Here's Wisconsin, and here's AZRE. Like what? So yes, obviously the volcanics are very, very similar as you go around the country, making the same colors. But of course, theirs is a lot more solid. This is a lot more pitted, and I believe this piece is a little softer, while Brian and Julie's is a little bit more glassier. This is a little bit softer, but it was trying really hard to become this. He's like, someday I'm gonna grow up to be just like you. No, you're not. You're Wisconsin. You suck. You're from Wisconsin. You suck. So yeah, so very, very similar in color and appearance, maybe not so in hardness. But yeah, but we're very interesting that works out that way, right?
Only you can make rocks talk.
Yes, and of course this was the outside of that rock, which wasn't a tater, but I think, and if you would just watch my recent video, this is that one I rode like 2 miles to the back of this field. So while I was back there, I was like, I'm gonna grab something, because you don't ride that far and then end up with nothing. So
Probably right. It takes them longer to bake here.
yes. So if you look at this, yes, it's not very hard. It's not. Can you hear that compared to Brian and Julie's stuff? And if people are judging hardness, clink him. Hear that? Glassy, 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 right? And Wisconsin, although this is a big chunk, not glassy. Although, the stuff that is glassy is a little bit more glassier or tinier or sounds different. So, yeah, so that was that one. Okay, then I cruised around. Whoa. Get this wet here. And I came upon this. Now, you may look at it and go, it's crappy rock. A lot of people look at this and go, this is a crappy rock. And if you're looking, this is by no means a tater. If you look, this has got the normal rock outlook to it. So, most people would just walk by this, but when I seen this, and of course, I think the other side one of the other sides you could see a little bit better, but I knew what this was right away because I've got some pieces of this, and this is a breccia. We're from Wisconsin. It's breccia, and I know it's breccia. No, it's broken pieces of broken breccia. So yes, so this is a breccia, and this stuff from Wisconsin is really cool. When you get breccia like this, breccia, it gets iron in it, and that makes it really freaking cool. So each, when you polish this, a lot of the individual breccia pieces have that lining of hematite around it, so it looks really cool. So when I seen this, I grabbed it, and this wasn't a real big rock, and I get some bigger ones. So when I cut this, that's what it looks like on the inside. And like I say, I knew right away what this was, so I grabbed it. How about that? Was that not crazy looking? And of course, it's tough again. Just tough to see the color, and it's actually red. It's red and it's purple, and then all these pieces of quartz, and then of course the hematite all mixed in too.
I still think it reminds me of a video game.
This is just a crazy looking rock. And then, of course, when I did cut that first piece off, again, we are Wisconsin, so you have this frost, which is frost. So when I did cut this, the main piece broke in a fracture. If I can figure this out here. Something like that or something. I don't know. But yeah, so oh yeah, because the other piece is this piece right here. Right. So yeah, so it broke apart. So I got that. Oh, come on, focus, 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 focus. That just has the takes a while, but yeah, so this is another big chunk. And that's got a pretty good piece. I'll be able to get some more, and of course, and you can tell it was
Nobody was
fractured.
expecting that.
So yes, but on the outside, and of course, it's really hard for you guys to tell, but you could see on this piece. Let me see if I can get this to focus a little better. Oh, here, maybe let's try this piece right here. So you can kind of, and of course, you're looking through a crappy camera. You can kind of see the individual pieces in there. Right there, you can see. So like I say, so I saw that, and I knew what I was looking for. And so of course I grabbed these, and like I say, when and these take a pretty good polish too. It's not super hard, but pretty good hardness. But yeah, these are nice. And I've got some like bowling ball size ones I found that I haven't even cut yet because it's just too big to cut. So bowling ball size ones, and someday I get a bigger saw. I got a 14, and that's whatever. So again, this is Wisconsin breccia, and this Brenda got from Allison Prairie Girl Rocks, and this she sent a slab. Brenda had won one of her giveaways, and she sent this slab. So I'm sure this is from like the Dakotas or something. It's kind of a conglomerate breccia. You could see some weird pieces or whatever, but different. And we've got stuff here in Wisconsin up north too. They call pudding stones, and this stuff is pretty nice to work with. And then from like other states or other countries, we're like, oh, we got, and then some other country goes, oh yeah, and then you go, ah, crap, throw the crap away. Look at that. What's that? I got a couple cabs I marked out of there, but is that not crazy? That's like a Picasso painting or something.
Stained glass?
We call that no, it's a Picasso painting. I call that dog on a bridge. Well, that's how he is, right? Picasso, dog on a bridge.
Yeah.
Dog on a bridge. Do you see it? Do you see it?
No.
Maybe if I hold it at an angle. Dog on a bridge. So yeah, so there's something about rocks, right? Right? Can't give up. And then if anybody remembers, it was my mountain scene. And I've got like a bunch of this mountain scene stuff too. This is that it's probably hard to see. That Maramamba. There's a good mountain scene on this one. I was thinking about doing this for this month's Discord, and if anybody's doing the Discord with the scenic patterns, if I would be cutting a scene pattern out of here, big square, how thick would this have to be to get, and that's the thing, these are cabochons, so you need a dome top. So how thick would this have to be to make a dome top? Pretty thick. So yes, I didn't use this. That's not what I'm turning in. So this was another thing. And then for the jewelry contest, and I've already turned this.
That was on the Discord.
Yeah, everybody's
This
familiar.
stuff,
These
okay.
guys are all on. A lot of
On
these
the
people on
Discord?
Discord. So this is my Discord. You can see it's. Whoop. Oh, focus. See a nice dome. See the dome. That's a cabochon. It's got a dome. So yeah, this is that. And if people weren't familiar with the original stone, that's the backside. So when I draw the design, I draw it on the back. And if you look at the back compared to the front, the back should have been the front, right? Did I choose the wrong side? What do you think? I think I chose the wrong side. But of course, maybe if I would have started grinding away at this, maybe I would have lost a lot of that look. But this is a Moroccan stick agate. And if people let me rest that real quick. Let me here. That was running around. So yeah, so if people aren't real familiar with that Moroccan stick agate, I got a big chunk of that. And this is again some beautiful material. And again, it's hard to tell how pink this is. So this stuff is actually super pink. And it's got this, these crazy
There's a K in there.
lines. All kinds of stuff.
He's saying K.
Hey, look, right here. It's the Opal guy. You see him right there?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Maybe. Somebody.
I don't know. He's peeping around the
Somebody
corner.
hiding in the shadows, right?
Yes. He's trying to look at us.
And yeah, so I say this stuff is I got stacked, but crazy beautiful stuff. Just amazing. Look at that. Very hard. And of course, if anybody was watching here, this was the piece I was going to have matching earrings that go with that pendant. And, this is cut, paper thin. So this was going to be the matching earrings that went with that pendant. And I dropped it on the floor. Yeah, I dropped it on the floor. So I was going to make I was going to yeah, to match the pendant, you need some lines. Oop, oop, oop. So you need a bunch of lines, and that was the liney spot. And yeah, I cut some other ones kind of thin, but not earring thin. So another, this one's here's pretty thin. I could have, but again, will I? Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe the shape was wrong. Maybe that's why I dropped it, because the shape wasn't going to be matching the flower shape. I don't know. So yeah, you know, um, here's some things you can learn from this. Um, don't carry stuff around when you're walking on cement floors. Put it in a tray, do something. And of course, I just had it in one hand and you're fumbling with the camera to take because I was going to take a picture. That's when I dropped it. So, yeah, stupid, right? So, yeah, so that. And then when you're cutting stuff, don't cut it all at once like I do. No, you have to cut it. You can't stop cutting something like this. But yeah, so, cut just off what you need. This way, if you need some more thin stuff, you still have time to make more thin stuff if you need it. Because this stuff is crazy. Plus, it's got this the green banding around the top, and I have the green on the pendant. It's just where I put that leaf thing. And of course I would have I had planned, and same with that, the Cavachon contest. Again, I'm rushing
Then
because
Amber likes the guy peeping around the corner and that.
oh, so yes, so with the stuff where I'm rushing, I'm rushing because I'm planning a trip, and you're gonna probably not see some videos. I don't know. It depends on if I get reception, but I'm planning a trip out west. I'm gonna be going to Spencer's. I guess we'll find out if it rains, I guess, or not. But I'm gonna be going out west. I'm gonna be doing some rock hunting, and so as far as what I have for videos or
Stop
don't have
tapping.
videos, he's thinking, he's talking, he's pacing.
Oh, okay.
Don't you know people like when they're talking, they kind of like
Yeah,
pace,
yeah.
acting like $1 million trooper, super duper,
Jerry, quit.
sitting on the Ritz. So yeah, so I'm gonna be doing that. So what I'm gonna have, but I'm doing a lot of getting ready. Last week, this week, and coming up in a week, I'll be heading out. So I'm getting a lot of stuff ready, and so I ain't spending a lot of time doing this stuff. And we have a show coming up in September where Brenda's gonna be trying to sell a bunch of stuff. So if we sell stuff or not, well, that's anybody's guess. So yeah, so let me put this camera back up. Light on yet?
Yeah.
Turn that off. Whoa.
That's really dark.
It's too dark. We'll turn the light back on.
It was too light.
So yeah, so that's the show. Unless somebody wants to see,
everybody again from
unless
Julie and
anybody
Brian
wants to
for the
see
winning.
something else. Somebody was asking me what my favorite album is. And I think he meant like non-rock. Yeah, there's a lot of non-rock in there. I've got, I'm a very, very eclectic. I got, punk. We got, the classics, of course. The old crooners, there's Dean Martin and you name it, A to Z, everything in between, but no jazz. and I probably shouldn't say that. I probably do have like jazz and and like Glenn Miller and stuff. That's in the garage. That's above the garage. I don't even come out here like night with Lawrence Welk. No nights with Lawrence Welk. No thanks. I like old stuff and I can even handle like really old classic stuff. I like classical music too, but certain stuff, certain times, yeah. But yeah, that's a lot of rock, and I don't know if you can see, how much is there. Each one of them stacks is probably like 125 or 150 per. If I can do this right, there to there. It's too hard to do. So yes, there's a lot of music over there, a lot of interesting stuff. So I've seen things on TikTok where people do, or I should be looking at the camera, where people do, they play albums and people like pay them money to like play songs off of albums. And I'm thinking like, wow. And then I just got a thing from TikTok, and I don't do TikTok or what's the other one? Instagram. A real lot. I have done stuff. I do have stuff on there, but I don't do it like YouTube. But I just got a thing on from TikTok. They're like, oh, you earn the eligibility to go on TikTok Live. And I'm like, TikTok Live? Like, do I have time to do TikTok Live? Everybody's very busy. I can't believe the people that are here have time to be here because, we all have busy lives. And I know Karen's not doing a live tonight. She said that, unless she secretly did one, but she said that she wasn't doing a live tonight. She had something up. So now I'm just going to do a little bit later. Otherwise, it would have been, over in an hour to get Karen's stuff. And if anybody's not familiar, which I know everybody here now is. So thanks for watching. And again, if you want to see anything different. Oh, and then if you look on the wall up here, and of course you can't see this, but all these shelves here, these are all Wisconsin taters. And I'll show you one real quick.
You can't stop.
I can't stop. This was like the I call this one the blood cell. I know that's
You're not even close to it.
I know. Hold on. This one was blood. I call this one the blood cell tater. I look like a blood cell. And these are Wisconsin taters now. See how the outside has that glassy look like a jasper wood, real shiny. And the outside's not polished, not oil. These were cut with a wet saw. But yeah, that's the blood cell tater. So yeah, all these taters on this wall are all my tater collection. And like I say, they come in, some really cool patterns. Really cool.
Gotta get
I know.
way
But
closer.
then if I do that, I'll lose the light. So yeah, so taters can come in lots of patterns. I get lots of different colors. Now this one's all pinks and peaches and stuff. They come in purples. They come in
Well, you can't go that way.
on it. So they come in, just numerous patterns, colors. All, of course, I think so. They're all cool looking. That's why I collect them. And then again, if people are ever out, rock hunting, and I talk about this in some of my videos. Literally, this is like an area that's maybe you know, and I haven't exactly found, and I know I find some that are taters, but they're really crappy. And I go to the like the southern edge, and you get into a lot more conglomerate types. But this is a small area. I mean, literally, it's like 2 miles, maybe like 4 miles. So out of the whole state of Wisconsin, that little tiny. So if I wouldn't have been fishing in that area, in that little tiny area, how many years ago, and picked up that one stone, and you know, was whether it was this one, you know, that had maybe like some banding on it or something, or maybe it was the glassy look or something. The first one, I don't even remember what the first one was, because when I picked them up, I took a bunch home before I even, you know, bothered to cut them. So when I found that, if I wouldn't have found that one, you know, who knows? You know, I mean, anybody's guess. You know, it's such a small little area, and who knows out there who else has the tiny little areas where you are or where anybody is, that you walked and stopped and then said, this is all, turned around and went home, not knowing that if you would have went like 10 feet further, you'd be like, wow, you know, look at this stuff. So yeah, just let anybody know. And I'm not telling you by no means keep walking, walking and walking, because you know, you go out to the desert or something, you're gonna walk for a long time and not find nothing. But again, it just shows that you can find stuff if you do walk around. You may find some cool stuff. Of course, you may not. You know, at least it's better advice than, you know, these athletes like basketball players or something that says, well, if you try hard and you train real hard, or American Idol, if you try hard and you practice, and someday you're going to be a basketball superstar, or you're going to be on the next American. I could practice my whole freaking life, and I'm never going to be a good singer. Trust me. I sing a lot. I'm not going to be a good singer. I'll never be a good singer. Nor will I ever be coming up and doing slam dunks. Not going to happen. I can train. I can stretch myself 3 ways from Sunday. I'm never going to be a basketball player. Impossible. Never going to happen. So then people, they shouldn't be giving advice like that, you know, because the odds, and even if you are 7 feet tall and you can dribble a basketball, or you're the best, you know, we got so many musical instruments around here. You know, I when I was in a band back when I was a kid, our drummer Joe Farringer, he could play the drums, he could play the bass. I mean, he would show me bass lines. My friend John Norman, he's still playing to this day. He's in a band called Knock Point. They play around here. And this Joe guy could, I mean, literally he could pick up anything. He sang, multi-talented. Did he ever become anything? I don't think so. So you can even be the most talented person in the world, and if you're not at the right place at the right time, you know, you're going to get looked over. And that's just the way life is. So rather than try to be something you're never going to be your whole entire life, just do what you like to do and have fun at that. You know, just to get out there, have fun, do stuff everybody likes to do. Even and like, you know, the people that are singers like me, and we throw some crazy parties here. I've got a PA system. I got microphone where we sing along the songs, and you know, I love it. I don't care how bad I sound. I just love to do it. I mean, you know, a few beers don't hurt either. So, you know, just have fun. Go out there and have fun. Do stuff that you enjoy. Don't worry about always trying to make other people happy and worrying about if other people like it. Do it for what you enjoy doing. That's what I do. I do all this. I've got, you know, if you think rocks are my only hobby, no, no, I've got many, 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 many hobbies. Brenda calls me a hoarder. but I'm not
Yes.
a hoarder. I'm a collector of collections. Big difference. I'm a collector of collections. So, okay, we'll leave it at that. Thanks everybody for watching. See you soon in a rock room near you. And I hope you learned something here. How does it go? The saying goes, if you learn nothing, I've taught you everything I know. Or is it? Yeah, I think that's it. If you've learned nothing, I taught you everything I know. So, okay, have a good one, everybody. See you next week, possibly live, maybe, maybe not. So, thanks everybody for watching. See you soon. Na, 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 na.